What does it mean to be an independent woman? People often say it's about earning your own money to buy a house and a car, that financial freedom is as easy as changing a light bulb or being handy enough to unclog a drain. It's about being single, child-free, and enjoying a lifetime of freedom. In essence, it's about being attractive, wealthy, having a career, and being financially, emotionally, and personally independent. Sounds pretty appealing, right? But is it really that simple? You might find yourself trapped by the stereotype of the independent woman. So, who exactly are they when they talk about independence? They're the ones defining you and setting the traps. How do you prove your financial independence? It's pretty straightforward from a capitalist point of view. It's all about consumer freedom. First, they highlight your disadvantages as a woman, then they create a value system around the ideal of an independent woman, promoting a certain refined lifestyle. They keep telling you that if you do these things, you'll be considered an independent woman. The basic messages are things like, you should apply a facial mask every day, keep your weight below 100 pounds, have toned lines and a defined waistline, match your lipstick colors to your outfits, wear this specific brand of yoga pants, and own at least 4 different pairs of high heels for every season. According to modern feminists, by the time you're 25, you should be using anti-aging products, and by 30, you should have a few key luxury brand items in your closet. Initially, you might not feel the need for these things, but to fit the image of an independent woman, you're subtly pushed to believe you should want them. And yes, there's a bit of coercion in this. They even soften the language, saying you deserve this perfume to express your taste, that only this brand of makeup suits your vibe, and that only this handbag is worthy of your outfit. They tell you that you're worthy of all the beautiful things in the world. Sounds pretty heartfelt, doesn't it? But even the most heartfelt messages can wear thin over time. Then they shift their strategy, trying to think for you and promoting the idea that women should please themselves, that loving yourself is the start of lifelong romance. While there's nothing wrong with the notion of self-pleasure, the way they suggest doing it is through relentless consumerism, buying pricey swimming lessons, absurdly expensive personal training sessions, and risky cosmetic procedures, as if collecting every shade of lipstick, orange red, true red, retro red, and anti-red, could lead to a high-quality life and transform you into a refined woman. Hold on a second. How did you change the narrative? When did being an independent woman become synonymous with being a refined woman? It's not me. It's those who are trying to profit off you, crafting an idealized vision of independent women and then insisting that if you don't fit that mold, you don't deserve your independence. But what's really behind this idea of refinement? It's all about excessive consumption. You're told you should, you deserve to, and in the name of self-pleasure, you prove your independence through endless shopping. When independent women are defined by consumerism, it becomes a full-blown business, turning the notion of economic independence into a consumer trap that targets women from all walks of life. As I scroll through short videos, I see women asking if, as independent women, they can date or marry if they can be affectionate, or if they can cry. That's when it hits me. In many dramas and clips, the most popular storylines revolve around a girl getting hurt in love, then giving up on love again, kickstarting her career, and ultimately undergoing a glamorous transformation. The underlying message is that chasing a career stems from past romantic pain or unfulfilled love, filled with disappointment and resentment towards men, subtly suggesting that men and women are fundamentally opposed. This creates a reluctance to build intimate relationships. What are men, anyway? Who needs them? I just want to be beautifully independent. But this mindset seems to strip women of their emotional needs, erasing feelings and desires in favor of a focus on making money. As a result, unhappy marriages have become the norm for independent women, insinuating that to be truly independent, you have to reject all forms of intimacy. So, being single, child-free, and living alone slowly turns into the prevailing image of what it means to be an independent woman in society. Is this not just another stereotype? When did we get so narrow-minded that we think pursuing a career and pursuing love are mutually exclusive, like having to choose between fish and bear's paw? In reality, many women successfully juggle both love and career. Personally, I don't see any inherent contradiction between the two. Sure, I'm currently single and might lean towards a life of singlehood and not getting married in the future, mainly because I struggle with managing intimate relationships. But that doesn't mean I should discourage others from pursuing marriage and motherhood. Everyone has their own choices, and forcing labels on independent women like single, refined, or emotionally detached is just another form of moral pressure, right? Plus, there are women who enter relationships and marriages but feel the need to constantly prove their independence within those dynamics. They often fall into the trap of giving without expecting anything in return, which twists their mindset, creating a hollow sense of pride and superiority by saying things like, I don't spend a dime of a man's money. I don't need a man to support me. I can support a man. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? But in reality, they end up becoming free ATMs for some slick guys. Emotional independence without relying on men is definitely a valuable trait. However, when this trait turns into a complete rejection of intimacy or a shift into traditional male roles, it starts to suggest an opposition between genders. This kind of opposition stifles women's emotional needs as human beings and becomes just another shackle that holds us back. So, back to the original question. If I'm an independent woman, can I date and get married? Can I be affectionate? Can I cry? Absolutely. You can do all of that because you're human. There are plenty of women out there who proudly say they can shop, watch movies, and dine out solo. They handle home renovations, move heavy furniture, unclog drains, and take care of everything on their own without needing to rely on anyone else. But let's be real. Some people, in their pursuit of independence, unintentionally disconnect themselves from the world, almost like lone wolves. To them, showing vulnerability or accepting help might feel shameful, as if it undermines their strength or capability. When this happens, the independent woman persona can crumble under its own weight. At this point, you might say, I don't need anyone's help. I can do everything on my own. Sure, you can, but there's no need to cut yourself off from others in the process. Independence and building meaningful connections aren't mutually exclusive. Sisters, remember, being independent doesn't mean isolating yourself. When it comes to defining an independent woman, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The idea stems from a time when women depended on men for survival. We fought to break free from that, aiming for economic independence, emotional independence, and the freedom to lead our own lives. The goal is to reach a place of empowerment and fulfillment. Unfortunately, today, that idea has often been twisted into consumerism or the isolation that can come with living independently. This is where we've misunderstood what true independence is really about. The term independence has turned into a flashy new label used to brainwash women. It's just another way to control us, repackaged to feel empowering. In reality, this kind of control is quietly becoming the modern equivalent of the moral archway for women. So, how is the idea of the independent woman of the new era fundamentally different from the old 3 obediences and 4 virtues of ancient times? Many women have been trapped by the lofty labels attached to the word woman, asterisk like independent asterisk or asterisk refined. They end up leading exhausting, constrained lives that feel anything but free. I used to think I was the perfect example of an independent woman, even feeling proud of it, as though it represented a higher form of existence for women. But recently, I've found myself questioning it all. Who actually defines what it means to be an independent woman? Who decides who qualifies as one? This authority to define, that's what we need to seriously reflect on. Here's a small perspective I'd like to share about the concept of independent women. To me, a truly independent woman doesn't engage with the world through the label of woman. She interacts with the world as an individual, grounded in her own identity. Her independence comes from within, not through her parents, a man, or even a feminist collective. Your body belongs to you. Your beating heart, your free breaths, they're yours. You are an independent human being. So why draw lines between men and women? Why is this even a debate?